So I'm here with Frank trying to brainstorm what we're gonna do with this space. I moved all these boxes, or we moved these boxes. They were originally on this shelf, and we kind of consolidated everything to this other shelf. Now we're thinking of taking these racks off and using this space to put another one of our folders or one of our machines. That way it opens up the floor space over there. And so yeah, it's like playing Tetris. We're trying to move things around, get rid of excess stuff, and just trying to be more efficient with the space. So let us 3S this area a little bit more, and we'll come back with an update. All right, so again, one project leads to another. And again, this shelf, this is where we leave our jobs. This area has been kind of overlooked, and we need to 3S and standardize. But our theory or our idea is to take this table, bring it back here so it kind of lines up with this other shelf. So we move the shelf down so when the guys are printing, they don't have to walk as much. And we'll have our shelf right here. And that's going to open up the footprint right here a little bit more to give us a little bit more breathing room. And again, I think I'm just being wishful and making space for an additional cutter or another key piece of equipment. I think I'm trying to manifest that. Trying to manifest new equipment. But yeah, so let's move the shelf down and reorganize the floor space a little bit. All right, so we're 3S'ing, cleaned out everything, found some felt cover that we're gonna have to figure out what we're gonna do with, but it's over 12 years old. And yeah, work in progress. Work in progress. All right, so we go down one rabbit hole and it keeps going on and on and on. Yeah, still work in progress, but we moved the shelf that was here, moved it to the wall. That way when we're working on spiral binding or lamination, we're not taking up the main floor here. We're still figuring out the whole configuration, but this old shelf that was here, we moved it by the cutter. We're thinking of taking this shelf, sliding everything down this way, kind of open up the floor that way for having all our equipment lined up kind of facing that. Yeah, work in progress, but you know, we're trying to work as a team to get the floor all configured. Work in progress. But look, we have so much room now. This is kind of the aftermath of our Kaizen moment. Still work in progress. We gotta get rid of some of this stuff, but we moved the table down here. So, and we kind of reorganized and 3S this area a little bit. So that's less motion for the guys. And if you look at how we have this arranged, we turned the Duplo around this way, moved the multi-graph over here. If you remember, everything was kind of clustered that way. So a way the job would work would be, guys print, they bring it to the table here, and from here they have to walk it over there, mess around with it, and then walk it back over there. So we eliminated a ton of motion by kind of concentrating the flow, creating this pull effect where it kind of the job progressed in like in a linear fashion towards the ship station, towards the cutter, towards this equipment, towards the UV machine. So we streamlined this. One of the side effects of what we did was actually improve the lighting. You know, we have a pretty bad lighting situation, so that's a whole nother project. We have to figure out our fixtures and probably do some electrical. But in the meantime, we're able to have better lighting here, so that's a plus. We got rid of a bunch of excess inventory we don't need. Moved a bunch of equipment around, much more streamlined. This works as like a padding and no padding station. We have all the tools necessary. We still have to label everything, kind of get streamlined. We moved around all the lamination, all the random stuff we got down here. We got rid of the stuff we didn't need. Now we have available shelf space dedicated to different work areas. You know, we can dedicate a corner to like hand stapling if we need hand stapling. All our lamination, spiral binding stuff is here. Again, we can still work on standardization and work on labeling. Unfortunately, this is still kind of the random junk corner. It's a really hard corner to figure out, but it's better than having 2 shelves, 3 shelves of stuff. We'll come back and figure this out. There's a bunch of old jobs from that we're holding for customers, so we can't really throw this away. So that's why it's kind of nestled away. These are a bunch of X frames that we need from time to time. Mailers, we do mailers, so we're storing that here. We can't get rid of this box in the off chance we had to send the envelope printer back for repair. They want us to ship it in the original box, so we're sitting on that. But we still have our 2-bin, 2-row system, visual cues, have the laminator posted right here. Have the this is a great improvement. It was Frank's idea. Move the round cornering machine next to the laminator, because oftentimes we laminate and the first things we need to do is round corner. So now we can have a little table here, a little station. You're doing your job rather than where it was there before. You did your job and then you have to move the job, and kind of we got rid of a bunch of the zigzagging pattern that we were doing. So yeah, got rid of a lot of transportation, a lot of motion. And with the setup of this new flow, yeah, it's not perfect. There's still things we can do, but I'm happy with the laminators being here. We moved the rollers here a moment ago. We opened up the floor. We moved the stapler right here. It used to be kind of clunky over here, if you remember that. You know, piece of equipment we don't use that often, but we do need it. It's best to start kind of off to the side. So open up the floor. Now, still working on the sticking up machine. That's a work in progress. And we work out the fixtures. But now we have this open floor. We opened up the floor space. Much more breathable. Guys aren't running into each other. And you can see like the intentionality of pulling jobs from the print room towards eventually leaving the facility and being shipped out. So I think it's a great improvement. I think we saw a lot of different little things we fixed. Obviously, it never stops. There's always things we can do. Again, standardization, labels, those are all low-hanging fruit. But I'm happy with this change, and we'll keep you updated as we keep improving things over time. So have a good day, everyone.